Hey folks, it's Tom, your Frugal Prepper. I'm sitting here running the air conditioner, getting ready to head out to the range. I just thought, with the assassination on the president, these liberals are going crazy. They have guns too. This might end up in a semi-quasi-civil war by the time it's done. And I'm just going to be prepared to defend myself and defend my family the best that I can, and I want to go out and do some more practicing. I reloaded up a few hundred rounds of more ammo. I'm going to go shoot through it and see if I can still hit that target at 25 yards at the back of the range, see if I can still do my close-ups, see if I can still do my ultra close-up, 2 abdomen, 1 headshot. Just run through some scenarios and do some practice with it. A lot of people ask why I carry a Glock 42, why not a Glock 43, why not this or that, or a 40 or a 45. And calibers do make a difference, right? There are more powerful calibers than 380 for sure, and there are more powerful calibers than a 9mm for sure. I have a 357 revolver, and I don't normally carry that one because it is so hard with a revolver to make an accurate double action follow-up shot. You can stick it into single action and make that first far away shot, but follow-up shots, they just are hard. You have to shoot so slow and stage that trigger so well that it's not a rapid follow-up shot. Revolvers are an expert's weapon, and I am not an expert. I find that the Glock 42 is just small enough to conceal well in my pocket, and it's just big enough that I can hold it and get those accurate shots and those follow-up shots. Glock 43, yes, it's about the same size, and it's a 9mm. But it's just harder to hold on to that gun tight enough that it just falls right back in line and you take the follow-up shot. You're like, bang, and you have to kind of adjust your grip, bang. At least I do. Some people might have stronger hands than me. So be it. I find that the 42 is just perfect for me to be able to let bang, bang, and have them both land right in the center. I have practiced and trained with my Glock 42. I've taken like 4 training classes at my range. I've taken training classes at other ranges. I took a training class in Columbus one day, which was a rifle, a pistol class. So you had to transition, and they simulated you've been shot in your left shoulder, your rifle's down, switch to your handgun, you move into cover, all that kind of stuff. We simulated tourniquets and stuff. So I do a lot of training, and then I try to practice the things that I've learned in training. And I do some of that practice downstairs. I have a full replica of the Glock 42 and an airsoft gun and an airsoft range downstairs, so I can practice that. But some of the things I just can't practice at my range during normal range time, because you have to lift up the things and go out there and set up some obstacles and work around them. And we can do that in our training classes, and they're only like $65. And you can take the level 4 training class over and over, and they switch up the obstacles and switch stuff around so you can stay up to date with that. I have not been out there to do the class since my stroke. I want to get back out there and get one. I don't think they have one scheduled this month. I'm going to check for next month. But I've done a lot of training, a lot of practice. The Glock 42 is very natural to me. Has a very natural angle. When the grip's angled kind of far back on a Glock, but that's so that you have a point and shoot. It's just a natural point and shoot. Same as if you're sticking your finger out there, that Glock hits the same point. So I find the Glock 42 to be extremely reliable. I only had one problem with it. That's where the mag slide hold open. The slide wouldn't hold open after the last mag. That's because I bent the slide lock. I gave it to the gunsmith at the range, and they looked at it, and they tried to bend it back, and they got it working with factory mags. But I switched my main carry mag at that time over to a mag guts follower and spring so that I could hold one extra round. and it wouldn't lock with the mag guts. So I just bought an aftermarket slide lock with a little extra bump on it. Really makes it nice to hold that. You can really get a grip on it when you're pushing it up to lock the slide open, and I really like it, and it works fine with my mag guts. So today I had my other two magazines with the Pierce +1 magazine extension on it, so they would hold +1 as well. But now today I got another mag gut spring and follower and put it in the Pierce Grip +1. So I'm going to try this magazine out today, because it holds 8 now. I want to see if it's reliable with 8, and then I'll get a mag gut spring for my other mag, so I can hold 7 +1 in the chamber with my flat mag, and then my 2 mags with the pinky grip extension will hold 8 each. But just getting out and testing your equipment and running through some stuff and knowing how it's going to work is really important. But yeah, I mean, I have bigger guns. I have a Glock 45, I have a 45 a Colt, I have a 357, a 38, and I love revolvers. I love shooting revolvers. I love 357s, a big old flash, and they're fun toys to have at the range. But for a defensive weapon, no. And I do practice far out, so I put up a half-size target at 25 yards, so that simulates 50 yards, and I make sure they all land in the fatal funnel. And that's important, because sometimes you have like an active shooter at a mall and you have to take those far away shots, and so I like to be able to do that. And you know, I'm just being prepared, you know, for whatever happens. I don't think we're going to end up in a civil war. I think that Trump's probably going to be the next president, because Biden man is kind of losing his mind, and it's a shame. I mean, I've followed Joe Biden for a long time. I really haven't agreed with him politically or liked him, but you know, I followed him clear back when he was a senator or whatever, and he used to say things that I disagreed with them, but he said them in a well thought out and presented them really well, and he really talked good, and he just doesn't anymore. And I'm willing to have a president that I disagree with politically. Absolutely. That's what the Supreme Court's for. You know, we can overrule things, we can, you know, take things up, but I am not willing to have a president who can't complete a sentence or a thought or, you know, a few sentences without getting confused and looking off in the distance like, I'm confused, where am I at? Those are all signs of dementia, and I'm not willing to have him in control of the nuclear missile launch codes. I'm just not. I really am surprised they haven't, like, Congress hasn't done something to remove him from office, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm not any, I like Trump, okay, but I'm not any big supporter of Trump. You know, so 2 things that Trump really did that I did not like. One, the bump stock ban. He used the Department of Justice to make a rule to ban bump stocks. It's unconstitutional. And the other thing that he did, and I don't remember exactly what it happened, but like, they tried to pass a stimulus bill, and I believe he vetoed it, or maybe they didn't get it passed yet, but he said he was going to veto it, because they, you know, the stimulus was 90% like pet projects to study gay ants in Siberia or whatever, and 10% of the money went to the American citizens. And he said, no, the money is, we just need to spend money on the American citizens and get rid of all these, you know, pet projects. And then I believe he lost the election, and then he figured, well, I might as well go ahead and sign off on it, and he signed off on it, or he signed off on a different one. Now, it was trimmed down a little bit, but not much. And I don't know if he did that because he lost and he just figured, what the heck, or if it was more like, I might as well sign this one because it's trimmed down a little bit, and when Biden gets in office, he's going to pass a great big horrendous one, so I might as well sign off on this one. I don't know, but I would have preferred that he didn't sign off on it. But I'm a person that did not lose my job. I did not lose my income. I was able to work from home, so I know there was a lot of people that were hurting through this scamdemic, a whole lot more than I was. So, that's just what it was. Luckily, my shop provided steel parts to make medical equipment that was needed, so we got to stay in operation, and I got to work from home. But I know a lot of people weren't in that situation. So I'm really thankful that it didn't affect me too bad. But it is what it is. But still, if I have to choose between Biden and Trump, there's not really a choice there. I'm going to have to go with Trump. Even though I thought for sure he was going to start World War III multiple times with his Twitter account. But he didn't. He sure didn't. The world leaders fell in line. So, who am I to say? I'm just a network engineer with a garden and a garage. I don't know politics. And I don't even like to speak. Like, I spoke at the city managers or a city meeting before the commissioners, and my voice all starts cracking up and I can hardly breathe. I just don't like that. That happened when I spoke at the Senate Judiciary Committee once too. I just get all nervous and this adrenaline starts flowing and I fall apart. So I'm nowhere near ever being a politician, but Trump got shot in the ear yesterday. I'm glad that he's okay. I'm glad they got the guy that was shooting at him. I'm glad he turned his head. I would say when I heard those gunshots, it's hard to tell on TV how loud they are, but based on what I heard, I said those are at least 200 or 300 yards off. And sure enough, they're saying like it was 200 yards off. And it was semi-automatic because all the follow-up shots that he tried after he missed. And I really think the Secret Service did a good job. Now, should they have had someone cover in this building? It's possible. My camera's kind of moving there. There we go. They probably should have, but they didn't. But they got right on it. They waited till they had confirmation that the shooter was down. Now, there could have been a second shooter, but there probably would have already been shots if there was a second one. And they got him, and they got him up, and you can see that the one woman Secret Service agent is like feeling his leg, looking all over him to make sure he's not hit anywhere else. That's like a primary objective to first, like, make sure they're not hit anywhere else, and then they got him to the car. And yeah, I think they did a terrific job. I'm really happy with that. You have to understand, this camera keeps moving. Let me move it over there. Okay. I think they did a terrific job for the limited amount of Secret Service that they have, because he's not an active president, so they don't have as much security as they do when he's actually president. But I think they did a terrific job, and I'm grateful that they were there. I'm grateful that Trump turned his head at the last second. I would say he probably turned his head just enough after the shot was fired, and it took that long to travel 200 yards, that split second. So I'm really, really grateful that Trump didn't die, but people did die. A couple of people are dead, other people are injured. I really think about the families of those people. They were just people wanting to come out and see the Trump rally, and now they're dead, and their families, and it's a terrible thing. But it is what it is. I'm just going to try to be prepared for whatever comes my way as best as I can. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom at Frugal Prepper.